verdad, pero esta vez me separaron. Dijeron mucho, pero no se olvidaron de callarse. Cuánto odio por mi piel sembraron. Dijeron historia y la tergiversaron. Dijeron guerra, muerte, odio y nos culparon. Siempre. Enfermedades, epidemias nos contagiaron. Exterminación de mi fauna complace a tus mercados. Dijeron riqueza y todos se lo robaron. Oro, platino, diamante, a la fuerza se lo llevaron. Y la actualidad es tan triste que todo aquello que dijeron es lo mismo que hoy se dice más. ¿Quién dice, quién explota, quién se beneficia? El asesino, el mismo que da las noticias. Hay una cuenta fácil que siempre me da las grandes riquezas, de dónde vienen y hacia dónde van.
Independiente como los Mao Mao, concluyente como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao. Somos resistentes como los Mao Mao, independiente como los Mao Mao, concluyente como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao. Somos resistentes como los Mao Mao. Nati Dre es afroresistencia, cultura ancestral, afrodescendencia, solidaridad. Esa es la esencia, la diáspora africana eleva la conciencia, conciencia negra, universal, progresista y transcultural. Negros y mestizos revolucionando, pueblos caribeños y africanos en un solo bando. No más explotación, colonialismo interno, no más confusión, supremacía blanca en el Babilón. Soy rojo, negro y verde, afroliberación. Mientras más negro, más represión. Somos creadores, recupera tu visión. Mi misión es educar con amor, contra el silencio, vivo sin temor. Independiente como los Mao Mao, concluyente como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao. Somos resistentes como los Mao Mao, independiente como los Mao Mao, concluyente como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao. Somos resistentes como los Mao Mao.
Peace, 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 peace. Welcome to the Rise Up International Morning Show.
Yes, welcome. Hey, you know, another day to rise up, another day to seize the time. So, you know, excited to be here. Excited to be here with you, comrade, and to build. You know,
let's build a little bit.
It's been a minute. I was thinking that. I don't think last week. I don't think we were on together, man.
No. I don't think we were either. On when was it? On Monday, we got to build a little bit on the Indigenous Nightmare Network. You know.
Yeah. That was a dope conversation.
Yeah, that was dope with breaking the backboard. And shout out to Isaac. And but we here. Rise Up, Black Power Media, Reloaded. Happy to be here.
Without sure. A doubt. And make sure that you guys, like and share, of course. Y'all know the routine, like, share, subscribe if this is your first time with us. You're just learning about the channel. Welcome, Caribou. Make sure that you subscribe and hit that bell so you get those notifications. And, when Black Power Media is having this show in particular, I think if you hit the bell, you probably get notifications across the board because we have several shows that are going on this channel, so you don't want to miss any of that.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, man, Professor Griff, he has a show, and it's interesting because before we were going to do this show, we were having a discussion around the neo-Nazis that was marching in Columbus. And I was like, yo, we should talk about this, man. And then I look and Professor Griff is doing a whole show on this very topic.
Oh, okay. That's
heck yeah. I was like,
that's
what?
What's up, man?
Yeah,
so Professor Griff, man. Arm the masses. Check it out.
Arm the masses. So, definitely check out that show. He recorded yesterday, so it's up. It's
fresh.
It's running.
It's
fresh. Yeah, so check out that conversation. And just in case you don't know, there was a neo-Nazi march in Columbus, Ohio. Neo-Nazis still marching, still out here. What you think about that, man? Neo-Nazis marching in 2024.
Man, I mean, as far as the whole thing, technically, you know, I'm not surprised. You know, I'm not surprised, and we know that they're still alive, that their ideology is out here. You know what I mean? But it's just the worst part about it is that a lot of times it gets violent, and and people get hurt. You know what I'm saying? That's what's nasty about it. But as far as them being out there and the ideology and all that, you know, we know what time it is. We know they're out there. We know what they're about, and we know I expect things like that. You know, certain people will be surprised, but you know, we expect things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it should be. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I hear people saying like, yeah, what does the police doesn't have anything to do? Like, what's the police doing about it? I'm like, man, you know, they are the police.
They marching with them. You know what I'm saying? They under the guise of protecting freedom of speech, but
absolutely.
they marching with them. And it kind of that gets to the point that I wanted to raise. In America, they profess that this is the freest country in the world, and people should have freedom of assembly. Yeah, freedom of assembly, freedom of redress, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, expression. And so when we look at an organization like the neo-Nazi, they are able to march and rally and organize under the pretext that they're exercising their constitutional right, and what they're doing is protected by the First Amendment. But shouldn't organizations like neo-Nazi organizations and or a neo-Nazi organization or the Ku Klux Klan, shouldn't these organizations be deemed as terrorist organizations and be broken up? And I understand we're in America is a terrorist state, so I understand the contradiction. Don't get me wrong, but that's not what America. It doesn't project itself to be one, though. So, with that being said, do you think that organizations like these should be deemed terrorist organizations and broken up, despite like this freedom of speech, or do you think like them organizing should be protected under First Amendment?
Well, what I think personally is obviously, yeah, they are terrorist organizations, I believe, you know what I mean? But, I think if, because how people like to say, like people who are not necessarily, they don't have the political education, they like to say that the far right is just the same as the far left. They're both extremes, they're like, all, all extremes are bad and all of that.
Yeah.
When, in fact, the far left, we know that, revolution is the total opposite of fascism. It's not, we don't.
Right.
That's not how it works. But, obviously, I mean, if that, it's interesting to think about it. Like, think about if that meant that, okay, they wouldn't be able to organize a rally, but what if they wouldn't let none of our organizations move either? Not saying that it's easy. Like obviously organizations,
that's something to think about.
To move, but it's something to think about. I've been in certain places where we're not allowed to get together. You know what I'm saying? At all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We can't. If it's more than 10 Black people together, it's deemed like, yo, you can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to think about it from that perspective. Like think about if we weren't allowed to organize at all, from the get-go, like would be deemed a terrorist organization unless we're linked to the government somehow. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If we're not what they call these organizations today that get money from all these corporations, what y'all call these organizations in the States that get money? Nonprofit. Like unless you're a nonprofit, you can't exist, right? Think about that. Like if there was like, unless you're a nonprofit, you can't exist. You can't just create an independent organization like that. That's something to think about. Obviously, our ideology has nothing to do with theirs. but you know, to a government, the government sees us as the enemy and not them. So, you know, before they do anything to their organizations, they'll come right to us. You know.
Yeah. You know, because they're upholding colonialism and racism, and I know they don't look at the Ku Klux Klan or these neo-Nazis as a threat to that. But they do look at the Black liberation struggle, you know, the struggle to liberate African people as a threat to colonial capitalism, especially, you know, those organizations that have revolutionary ideology, and that's anti-colonial capitalists. But it's that history, though. I think, like, the history, if you look at the history of Ku Klux Klan, though, this is an organization that has a history of terrorizing, brutalizing, and murdering, assassinating African people, non-white people, to maintain a system of white political economic domination. Like, Africans have no history. Our organizations don't have a history equivalent to that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Of course. 100%. 100%. And but you know what they say, the most, what they fear the most, you know, is the mind of the oppressed. So, you know, our ideology is the key. So an organization that is ideology, that who has truly a revolutionary ideology, an organization that believes that there's no reforming, you know, there's no reforming this shit, you know, that then that's going to be a threat to them, bigger than an organization that might have a bunch of guns, but that's not necessarily ideology, that is not necessarily, you know, that don't necessarily have the mind frame, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So but for sure, their organizations are, for sure, they are terrorist organizations. All those far right, you know, Nazi organizations, they're all about, you know, hate and murder, and, you know, and our organizations are about, you know, peace. But we understand that in order to have peace, you know, we have to struggle for peace. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference.
Nah, I unite, man. But that's, you know, it's crazy. I definitely I'm glad that we had an opportunity to, you know, touch on this, because this is you know, this neo-Nazi march is in light of the election, the Donald Trump victory over Kamala Harris. So, you know, just like last time, white folks feeling emboldened as usual. They seeing a guy in office. You know, even though, you know, for me, I mean, whether Democrat, Republican victory, what we have to do doesn't change. Empire is empire, no matter who they put, you know, in that position of leadership, whoever the chief executive officer is of America. It doesn't matter. You know, our mission is still the same, man. But
our mission remains, without a doubt, man. The struggle continues.
No doubt, bro.
Without a doubt, man.
Rise up.
Rise up. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And speaking about rise up, and, you know, you spoke about Arm the Masses. We also want to shout out, you know, Daughters of the Whirlwind. It's another great show we have here on Black Power Media Reloaded. You know, The Vanguard, Rupturing the Aesthetic. And we have, of course, Kalanji's RSTV. And don't forget, we also have, you know, the Afropic magazine. You know, make sure you get that. Make sure you go online, you know, blackpowermedia.org, and get your Afropic magazine.
Yeah, for sure. And make sure that you're following us on IG as well, because a lot of this information, as far as, you know, what's going on with Black Power Media, you can find at our on our website, blackpowermedia.org, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's right.
But you can find a lot of this information there, and we're on all platforms, social media platforms. So make sure that you stay connected with this movement. We're growing, you know, with more shows, more viewers.
We got a new show coming soon, real soon, you know, with the Comrade Buna. and Dr. Gerald Horn, you know, Amandla is gonna be coming soon.
I was just talking with Conrad Boona, man. Was going back and forth with him a minute ago. He said I'm welcome in France. So
that's right, man. That's right. That's right. Well, you already told me. So you already told me about to come through. So we definitely waiting for you, man.
Yeah, I heard you need to check in before you go to France. So
you check in with the LPU, man, with the Pan African League of Moja, man.
Had to make sure I check in before I went to France, man. But you know, what's going on in France though, man? Anything happening?
There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of people, you know, there's a lot going on, man. But specifically, we still I mean, there's some movement there's still a lot of movement for Palestine. There is Martinique, you know, there's Martinique going on, and you know,
Martinique. What's going on in Martinique?
Man, the cost of life is crazy. It's through the roof. And
Martinique.
The French colonizing. They're the ones controlling the prices over there, and the prices are through the roof. People can't afford to live, man, to buy food, and you know, it's crazy.
No, most definitely. We covered that. We definitely covered that story. You know, I mixed it for a second. I was thinking about Mauritania. I kind of mixed the country, but Martinique, familiar with that struggle.
Yeah, that's it, man. And we just, you know, we organizing we got a few things coming up. The Pan African universities next month. You know, then we got Pan Af Hip Hop in March or April. We'll see. Days not necessarily set yet, and we're working on a few other things. But what's going on your way, man?
It's, you know, always got something in the mix, man.
For sure.
This week, this Saturday, we having our third workshop. This one is going to be, we're having these workshops on the college campus. Social justice training and workshop series. So I've mentioned it on this platform before, but this Saturday will be the third one. I'm actually going to be facilitating this one around it's going to be around power mapping, how to implement power mapping for change, to make some things happen, you know, to make people move around certain issues. So
power mapping, I'm not familiar with that, man.
Yeah, you're going to we might do a hybrid this week, man. You might have to tap in, but it's it's a way to map out like who has the ability to make something move on a certain, or to help bring about a change on a certain issue. So finding out like who those stakeholders are, like who's wielding the power and who's connected to them, because you might not be able to make the person move directly, right, by showing up at their doorstep, but finding out like who are the people that are in that particular person's circle, whether it's a state rep, city council person, a church community leader, and so forth. But, you know, just mapping out, you taking a power analysis and just like mapping out who the stakeholders are in a certain area to bring about some sort of change. So we'll be going more into because this is a part 2, so we're going to go get more into how to like really implement that. So we have like a sort of like a theoretical part to it, and now how do we actually put this into practice? So that's going to happen this Saturday, and we'll probably have a part 3, part 4. But it's different workshops we organize in just the same way that the folks who came up with Project 25 were trying to organize their constituency, to organize people who align with the far right, align with the right, to be able to secure positions of power within government. And also, you know, other key positions, the same thing, but we taking a radical approach, right? So, you know, training radicals to maybe I shouldn't say too much on this platform.
Right.
Hey, you can't hide too much from these people anyway, man. They
Whatever.
all seeing eyes. So
yeah,
you just gotta operate knowing that they know what's going on, but they still have limitations on what they can do. You know.
Yeah, man.
Also, the real quick too, in February, the Malcolm X seminar we have going on in Philadelphia. That's going to be happening. So the workshops are in Brooklyn. This seminar is going to be in Philadelphia in February, and so we're going to be looking. This is the 60th anniversary of Malcolm X's last message that he gave in Detroit on February 14th. So we're going to be looking at that speech and having a discussion around that, but also having a discussion around sort of a town hall meeting is going to be incorporated in it. And so talking about a way forward in Philadelphia for the Black community, what are some things that we can do as a people to bring about change in our community and resist the state, man. The state that whether is Black folks, because there's a lot of Black folks in position of power, or these Europeans, these colonizers, man, resisting the state apparatus and pushing forth an African agenda, pushing forth a Black agenda. So having that discussion and coming out of it with a action plan. So that's taking place in February in Philadelphia. And I say the location just so folks know, we from New York to Philadelphia, I'm doing my best to connect the struggle in both of those places, but also connecting with people in other locations as well. I was, speaking to a comrade who's down in Atlanta, and we were talking about making that connection. So I'm not saying I'm, the only person who's doing that, but that's part of my mission, my objective. And if that's something that you're doing too, let's find a way that we can make these movements coalesce.
That's right. Yeah, definitely tap in with us. Yeah, man, listen, and Philly and New York are very important areas. You know what I'm saying? Historically, historically too, New York, specifically Brooklyn, I know that what came out of there influenced a lot of us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, Kalanji has spoken about how he used to go to lectures over there. I know my older brothers were in New York also in the late 90s and all of that. And, a lot of our, Black historians, Black leaders were out there giving lectures on the regular. And, one thing that I miss from that era is that, the culture, when I speak about, I'm not going to call it the culture because the culture is everything. But I mean, there was entertainment, there was edutainment. You know what I mean? Like entertainment mixed with the knowledge, and I don't see that too much anymore. And I think that's something that's necessary for us. I feel like sometimes the youth want to separate it too much. Like, okay, this is conscious. And now I'm just out here having fun. When I feel like it's important for our people to have both sometimes in the same place, you know what I'm saying? And be able to develop it in events, as such. That's what we kind of try to do with some of our events like Pan-Af Hip Hop, and things like that, where we bring in, it's important for us to have the African centered mind, the culture, even when we're having fun, you know what I'm saying? And so I know, those early days and the late 90s and, in New York City was in drenched in African culture. It was a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying? And Africans from all over the world, the Caribbean, the motherland, the south of the United States, everywhere they was up in New York City, And the culture was vibing. And of course, at the same time, there was a lot of negative things happening, a lot of difficult things, whether it's police brutality, whatever, as it is now. But, as far as that, I think some of those things need to come back. And events like the ones you're doing and that unity that you're talking about, with people bringing it from Philly to New York to ATL, and that's what's necessary, man. You know.
Nah, absolutely, man. On this conversation, the edutainment, there's definitely folks out here that are doing it too, as far as like Brooklyn, Philadelphia in particular. I was just on social media and I saw the All African People's Revolutionary Party promoting a revolutionary open mic this December 1st. You know what I'm saying? So that's going on. I'm definitely gonna be in the mix. I write a little poetry myself.
No doubt.
I'm still I'm still trying to get a feature. I'm still trying to get a feature with you. You know, like y'all be sleeping on me.
No, you for sure on my next project, man. You already know.
You already, hey, you witness. I sent you something.
I saw you, man. Yeah, for sure. You're gonna have to put something down in the description, man. You're gonna have to put a link or something, man. Don't front on these people, man.
No, but I definitely, you know, I've been seeing and I'm seeing this movement, and in Philadelphia, I mentioned Fresh the Legend. I probably mentioned his name 3 or 4 times. He don't even know. Like I'm giving him like free promo, but I respect his movement so much, man, because for the fact like they do their revolutionary open mic. And he has other things going on throughout the city, but keep my word. I mean, not keep my word, but mark my word that this is somebody that you guys are going to hear about real soon, because I see his passion, and I see his passion, and I see like he's driven to be successful, and doing it in a positive way. And also just sparking some change in the culture as he's doing it, right? As he's progressing and moving along. And he has this thing, no death culture. He doing the revolutionary open mic. You know, that's part of the theme, no death culture. So, you know, all of that. If you're talking about anything destructive, it has to be a message to it. But we're not just going to be up here talking about inflicting harm on one another. So, and we need more of that. And you know, he's definitely like somebody I would love to have on this platform to talk with, man. But but the Pan-African hip hop, I'm definitely trying to come over for that. Over to France. But I would love to see us do something where we can connect these artists in France, from France to London to the many places in Africa to the Americas, just doing something virtually where we bring an artist together to do something big, man. Do something big for the world. Put it on for the world.
Virtually, do like like
it could be a virtual, like it could be a hybrid, John. You know, it could be we have a particular location, right? Yeah. We can say, you know, Ghana is going to be the in-person base, but it'll be hybrid though. So, you know, folks online, because we should be able, I mean, this day and age, we should have the capability to do so. But if we just have to do fully virtual, we could do it that way. But I think that should be something that we should try to organize, man, for 2025, 2026.
Let's work on that, man. Let's work on that without a doubt. Yeah.
So the people heard it first, man.
Yeah. Y'all heard it first on the Rise Up.
Hey, that's what y'all get. We organizers. We always trying to organize the people. So
without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. Sure. Yeah. So, you know, I think it's going to be about that time to hit him with a, you know, Black Power break for Black Power. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And then we're definitely going to get to we have a couple articles we want to break down. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So stay with us, y'all.
We don't like you because the only information we have about you is what your enemy and ours tell us about you. And you don't like Haitians either. Because you have the same information from the same source about us. When was the last time the New York Times told you anything about Toussaint Louverture? When did the New York Times talk about Jean-Jacques Dessalines? When did you ever hear about what is the mission of this country? They even have us clap to be occupied in 1994. Yes, I stood up against the coup in Haiti. Yes, I stood up for the return of the will of the people in Haiti. Because at the time, yes, Aristide won by 70% of the votes. He is the choice of the people, so he should go back. But when I'm told, okay, he's going back with military occupation, I said, no, that's too expensive. This price, not for me. Most of my comrades were against me. But that's not their fault. Lack of vision, lack of knowledge of our street, lack of understanding. What does military occupation mean in any country? I don't care where. That is not the problem. Military occupation means prostitution will rise up out of the street into the best families, number one. Because General so-and-so and Colonel so-and-so from the U.S. Army is not going to go in the street and pay $2. No, and he's got to have a prostitute. He's going to go in your home, my home, take my sister. Number two, the cost of living must rise at least 15%. That's a fact, whether you want it or not. Any place where there have been occupation, those are the two first results of any occupation. So before, 5 goods for $1. Today, 17, 18, 19, 20 goods for $1. You know how many people cannot eat in this country? 70% of the population is not working. The World Bank says, oh, to make things better, we have a good plan for you. Things are going to get real good, real fast. First, the public workers must be reduced by half. A study proved that every working Haitian feeds at least 7 people. And we only 30% of the population, the working population, is working. Now when you're going to reduce it to 15% of the population, how many people are we each going to feed? And then what happens to the ones who don't have somebody working to feed them? In 1946, Haiti imported nothing of what it needed to survive on a day-to-day basis. In 1960, Haiti did not import its food. Since 1970, there is progress, I think they call it. We start importing things. And today, 1997, Haiti imports even lemon, even plantain, even corn. And don't forget, we are buying it with 20 goods for $1. But remember, Haiti is nothing but an example. It's nothing. Whatever we say about Haiti, we could say it about Zaire, we could say it about Nigeria, we could say it about Togo, we could say it about Ghana, we could say it about Guinea, we could say it all over wherever our people are. And that's why we must make it our business. If we say we're serious about growing, if we say we're serious about going to war, you have to know what's happening in every part of your world. Don't sit here I'm a black American. I'm living in Newark, New Jersey. Well, New York, I have no problem in Newark, New Jersey. We're okay. We have a nice mayor. No, we've got to become involved. Because whatever they're doing to us in Haiti, whatever they did in Zaire, in Lomé, in Ghana, it's coming to you, brother. It's coming your way, if it's not already there.
It's coming to you, brother.
Hey, so you better
She's
wake
killing
up.
it. Right, you better wake up and rise up.
Most definitely, man. There's
Man,
people
listen.
trying to separate our struggle.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
Hey, the European did not discriminate when he was snatching Africans up, or when they went throughout Africa to colonize.
Absolutely.
Africa. They wanted those resources, so it didn't matter who you were and who you were with.
Right.
So we have to have that understanding and base our organizing.
That's what Haiti did. That's what Haiti did. They were like, listen, all Africans. They didn't start saying, nah, it's only the Yoruba over here, or only the, they didn't separate by tribes. They were like, all Africans over here were free, and that's how it went down in the Maroons. When the Maroons started building their little spots and everything, that's how it was. We gotta unite, man. We gotta unite.
Yeah, I mean, again, like they gave us the best example when they came together as different. In Africa, they may have been considered, Yoruba, Timini, Mende, Fulani, and so forth. But when they got here to the Americas, they understood that they had a common enemy. I mean, could you imagine them on the same plantation fighting each other based off of their ethnic differences, cultural differences, right? The enemy would have been sitting back laughing, like, they making this easier than we expected. But
that's what they do when we come up with these things. They laugh. They sit back and they laugh.
Right.
Because there's still people coming through with these,
they're doing it, right?
Yeah.
Based off of
we ain't gonna say no names.
Nah, we can't.
But it's interesting how when she mentioned, how military occupation automatically brings the cost of living automatically brings up the cost of living, and automatically brings prostitution. I mean, brings up prostitution.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's you know what I'm saying. When you analyze and go back and check the history, it's she's sharp, man. Like,
most definitely. I mean, we can see it in our own communities. Malcolm, I think, spoke about this. How the police, when the police presence increase, crime increases. Like,
absolutely,
pointed out that contradiction. He said, he said they have to be in cahoots, with the criminals if that's going to happen, because that's a serious contradiction, man. You would think a larger police presence or military presence would decrease the crime. So if that's not happening, then something has to be up. And this is the reason. I mean, they don't have any interest in stopping the crime. They don't have a direct interest in it.
Nope.
This something, you talking about. These are mercenaries at the end of the day. People are getting paid to come in and occupy our communities.
Crime is actually positive to them because it stops the people from uniting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it keeps them employed too.
It keeps them employed, and it stops the people from uniting. If people are afraid of crime, you know what I'm saying, they fall back into some individualism. They don't really come out. They stay in the crib. They don't come out. They don't build community. They're afraid of crime. Yeah. And so that's what the whole thing is also part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it makes the communities that presence as well. It goes hand in hand with ethnic cleansing.
Absolutely.
Because they can come into the communities and also, be able to arrest, wipe out a portion of the Black community, and make it vulnerable to those people who are looking to infiltrate the Black community and gain control over it. Bad enough, we already are exercising control over our community, but it opens the community up for further foreign invasion, right? Where, sort of like this next wave of colonizers who will come in and invest in these communities, but not necessarily investing for the people who live in these communities, but investing for future colonizers, future this future influx of people to come into these communities and take it over. That's what happened. That's what F is all about, man. We see how they price people out of these communities. We can no longer afford to live in our own communities. Ain't that? I mean, how can you you can't afford to live in your own community anymore? That doesn't make any sense, man. And so, but we get sort of tricked into thinking that if we vote the right people in office, that this would change. But what happens is we vote people into office. Those same people we vote into office are working with the gentrifiers. They're working with the people who are actually looking to come into the community and take the community over under the guise of revitalization. Right?
Yeah. That's how the system. Yeah, that's how the system works, man. It's a whole system, and voting is part of it. You know what I'm saying? That's how everything works. I don't
know. Go ahead. I was gonna say, I wonder, is the people feeling us though, man? If you in the chat, you feeling what we saying? Let us know, because am I making this up? Let me know if I'm making this up, man. Because maybe I could be tripping the way that I'm seeing how the system works. I could be on one right now.
Nah. I mean, you spitting, man. I think I still think there's some value to voting locally, specifically, because there are little things that can still change. Even though what we do need to understand is that liberation is not on the ballot, but there are definitely certain little things that can affect us. You know what I'm saying? In a positive or negative way. Like, while we're struggling within this system, we remain in this system. So little things that can help, get the water to be cleaner, things that can regulate to lower the pollution here and there, all these things are positive. They're important. So, what I'm saying? I still think, little things like that are important, and we should take the time to vote for those, as long as it's not taken away from our time from organizing,
Yeah, but we got to put people in office that are going to push forth these policies to make that happen. Because what's happening is like the people who are running for office and they're being hand selected by a minority. The people are going to have to push somebody. We might have to pull somebody out there home and say, yo, you're running. I don't care what you think. No, we want you in office.
That's what we try to do with Ikemba Ojore, man. We try to have him run for president, man.
Oh, hell no. Not president. Nah,
I heard you wasn't on the ballot out there, man. I heard you wasn't on the ballot.
Nah, you had to write my name then. Okay. It's funny, man. I gotta go back and count see how many votes I got too. I'm glad you brought that up. Hey, I wonder how many votes I got though.
We need a recount.
Hey, one vote is a victory for me. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yeah, we had Charles Barron, Comrade Charles Barron come by. He actually was the one facilitating our last workshop in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And he was talking about, running for office and, even, running for office, even in the not winning the election, Being able to see the positive in it, though, being able to see a victory in running, where, okay, you know, we may have not won the election, but we had 4,000 votes. Like, that's a victory. You know what I'm saying? And because we think about it, you know, just for somebody to that might not have been known or have never run for office, right? To have 4,000 people pick you as somebody that they want to represent the community, you know, that's a significant amount of people, and that can grow.
Yeah.
You know, and so he, you know, he was saying, like, you know, he went out there and he said, hey, we didn't win the election, but I got 4,000 votes. We're gonna get them next time. You know, just like,
and your message, and your message can grow, man. You know, and we're still at this stage where, you know, globally, we're still at this stage where the propaganda is getting to our people. The Western, you know, European propaganda is still getting to our people heavy. So we need an ideology shift. You know what I'm saying? So whenever we have, you know, people that are running like that are, you know, that are on our side of the barricade, it's important because their message can reach a little larger audiences here and there, and hopefully some of our people can, you know, catch on, hold on to that message, and, you know, and come to the right side of the barricade. You know what I mean? But
absolutely,
for sure,
absolutely, man. You think the people are woke right now? It's early in the morning.
I mean, yeah.
Y'all had y'all coffee?
Oh, I got my tea. I thought I was on something else, man. You was talking about.
Hey, I'm talking about. I know we got a name for the chat. I can't remember the name. Kalonji came up with something.
Forgot too, though.
Oh, we in trouble right now.
We're gonna call them the Rise Up Crew. The Rise Up Crew from now.
the Rise Up Crew. Hey, I hope y'all had y'all tea or y'all coffee.
I got my green tea over here.
That's what's up, man. I hope y'all with us on this Wednesday, man. Wednesday morning.
Right.
But definitely appreciate y'all tapping in. I think we could pivot to some news.
Yeah.
And shout out to the family, the Rise Up family co-hosts that's out there as well. I got this story from my comrade Isaac, man. You know, he be on it with the stories. I'm kind of glad he popped my collar to this one right here. Do I need to make that bigger, or is that pretty?
No, that's good. That's good like that. That's good.
Right. So I know you had brought up Palestine earlier, and I'm glad you did, because I think every chance we get, we should bring up Palestine, Sudan, Congo, Mozambique, Martinique, South occupied Tanzania. There's something going. Whatever colonized people are, first of all, you know, we are fighting against genocide. Right. We need to be charging genocide. We need to be charging colonialism every day, all day.
New Zealand.
We're gonna come back with that one. We're gonna
everywhere
for sure, and have that conversation. Well, you know, Palestine, the genocide is still taking place, and the Zionists that are there, who are waging war against the Palestinians, also waging war against Africans. So we need to be a part of this struggle for sure. And this Iranian engineer, he quits Google over the tech giant's collaboration with Israel amid this genocide. And so this is I thought this was an important story, because it speaks to exodus that we should be making when it comes to Google. And so even just like going through this story, I'm thinking to myself, Fernando, that I'm gonna have to start using Yahoo and Bing for my searches. You know what I'm saying? Like, got to find some way somehow to be able to play my part, and all of us, to be able to play our part. So I'm gonna encourage folks. I started doing it today, using Yahoo, not necessarily Bing, but I'm gonna start using Bing as well. But yeah, I'll go through the story a bit.
Are you up on Ecosia?
Nah, you can put it in.
It's a search engine, as well. And it's a smaller search engine, but they're into planting trees, man. Every time somebody searches something on they planting trees, bro. You know what I mean?
Oh, we need to put that in the chat for sure.
Yeah, and they not with Google, none of that, man. Ecosia, ECOSIA.
Yeah, ECOSIA.
Yeah, okay. So Ecosia.org.
That's dope. It's a search engine.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. I've been trying to do my searches over there, man.
Yo, Black Power Media, the truth, bro.
We
be doing it. All right, appreciate that.
No doubt.
So we'll just read some of this story. Iranian software engineer Lareza Zakari has announced his resignation from Google over the American tech giant's collaboration with Israel amid the regime's genocidal war on Gaza, which has killed over 40,000 people in the territory since early October last year. So, I mean, think 43,000 people. Just let that register for a minute, man. 43,000. It's a genocide going on, bro. Like, that's crazy. Women, children, men, all losing their lives as a result of this. I'm happy to announce that I have left Google, he wrote in a post published on his LinkedIn account on Monday, adding that this decision reflects my values. After learning about Google's involvement in Project Nimbus, I voiced my concern for several months. Unfortunately, despite the efforts of many employees, leadership chose to maintain its stance and dismiss our collective concerns, he added. Project Nimbus is reportedly a $1.2 billion deal between the Tel Aviv regime and Amazon and Google to provide artificial intelligence and cloud services that are also used by the Israeli military. Living in a way that conflicts with your core values is incredibly challenging. Choosing to step away was not easy, but it was necessary for anyone facing similar situations. I hope you find the courage to prioritize your principles. What good is it for a man to gain the whole world, yet forfeit his soul? Zakari pointed out. I mean, for him to take a stance like that, and I'm sure we're talking about an engineer for Google. I'm sure he was making a pretty penny, and he probably won't have a difficult. Well, actually, I mean, in this climate, he may have a difficult job finding another job. So that's even the other part because of his stance.
That's true.
But he was willing to place his values ahead of all of that. I mean, how many of us are willing to do that? So much respect to him and for him. And I think, it's important that we don't let our martyrs, we don't let our freedom fighters' sacrifices go in vain. We have to show collective support and collective response, anytime this happens, man. What do you think about? Oh, go ahead.
I think you bring up a very important point. You know what I'm saying is that because, like I said, propaganda is still real out here. And so when people do dumb shit, a lot of people that, people that actually sell out, for the bag or for whatever, they're applauded a lot of the times, and they're, they're, celebrated and all that. But when somebody takes a real stance, we don't bring them up. We don't bring them up. Even a lot of our political prisoners, for the masses, very few people speak up about them. When we're talking about, of course, in our circles, organizing and all that, we know what time it is, but I'm talking about in general, And so that's also something that makes the youth, that's not politically educated, said, no, fuck that. Well, I'm going to take a stance. I'm going to be, nobody's going to have my back. So that's a great point that you're saying. Like, it is it's a must for us to, you know, when people actually, you know, are willing to take a stance, you know, for the people, for us to you know, to big them up, you know what I'm saying, and to recognize, you know, it's important. So yeah, I appreciate it.
Nah, for sure, absolutely, man. What's your thoughts about the use of AI? And I think this is important. This is significant with the stance that this Iranian is taking. Let me get his name again. Reza Zakiri. Yeah. So brother Zakiri, the stance that he's taken, I think, you know, is important when you think about the implications of the use of AI, and particularly in this instance, it makes a whole lot of sense to protest this because of the simple fact that Israel is committing a genocide. It's not as if they're not actively engaged in a conflict or war or a Holocaust. They're engaged in that as we speak, and so to you know, for Google to go into a contract with them and provide them with this technology makes them complicit. It's sort of like IBM during World War II and their complicity, even though they'll deny it, but their complicity in the Holocaust of the Jewish community, of Jewish people in Germany, by allowing the Germans to use their technology to help them systematically be able to keep track of the Jews, and just to be able to use that technology to help facilitate or expedite the genocide that was taking place over there. But yeah, I don't know if you had any thoughts about this use of AI, man.
AI, man. You mean in general?
I guess it's just as far as just like using AI for military, for warfare. Military.
I mean, you know, I think AI right now. I mean, I think, like, again, I applaud the brother for doing what he's doing. You know, I think AI could be a real dangerous thing, man. But as far as these, you know, you know what I'm saying, it can go far. But you know, as far as these all these tech companies, man, and these, you know, whether it's Google, Apple, you know, Amazon, all these big corporations, man, you know, when it comes to technology, though, you know, I mean, I was listening to, you know, the great poet and activist Saul Williams, man. You know, when he was speaking about that, he was like, listen, y'all ain't gonna impress me as long as, you know, we got our brothers and sisters losing an arm, you know, dying over this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna impress me. So y'all can have like the wildest, most sophisticated apparatus out here, and it's not impressing me when it's costing the lives of our people, you know, in the Congo and here and there. So that's how I feel about that, man. You know what I'm saying? They trying to make it, you know, they trying to impress us with these trinkets, and you know, meanwhile, there's all these genocides going on around the planet directly linked to that, to that tech stuff. And when it comes to man, and when it comes to the AI, man, I think, you know, to be honest, I haven't been using it. I haven't been using it almost at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen what it's about. You know, I've checked it out a couple of times, but you know, it could go wrong in so many ways, man. AI, but at the same time, also, you know, I don't want to be like, you know, make a bigger deal than what it is, because that's how it's we've always had something new, and it's always been like, oh, now it's a wrap. Like, same thing happened when the internet came out in general. You know what I'm saying? When the internet came out, it was the same thing. Everybody was like, oh shit, it's a wrap. And they keep using these tools, you know, for them against us, you know, but I don't, you know, it's not necessarily, you know what I'm saying? They're going to keep using it the same way they used the shit before. But really, overall, the picture really don't change. It's still the same. They just keep using different tools, and you know, AI, man, it's wild. They could do some crazy.
I ain't in the same boat as you. I definitely have been using AI. It's been helpful, man. Yeah,
Okay.
you still have to. It definitely helps, like with the editing process. With the writing, and having to go, behind your work. You still have to really go behind your work, even with the use of AI. But AI could definitely offer some
help you
good
save
suggestions.
Some time.
It definitely save some time. But I still find myself like going through and just like, no, like some of those suggestions, I just you won't agree with everything that is suggested, even with like word use and even with grammar, like with commas here and there. I'm just like, I don't want to pause right here, Okay, but on the other note, though, just in regards to the use of AI for military purposes, man, one of the concerns, I have several concerns, but just like the like taking away the human element of warfare. First of all, like, let's end war. World peace. I'm all for world peace, but
please,
that isn't our reality. But to give people that advantage of AI, it takes away that human element in decision making, and I think that right there is a big problem, because now you have AI making decisions based off of what? First of all, their AI is being programmed, algorithm is being created, and so it's going to have a bias regardless, based on its programmer. And so, I feel like AI can discriminate and make decisions based off of a racist programming, right? I think that can have a major impact on how people are affected during warfare. The amount of people, and then it's the other thing is just like the accountability. AI is making these decisions. Who's to be held accountable, because it could be looked at as an error, a mistake based off of AI, and kind of wash a person's hands of that. I was just like watching a movie, just to give some early examples, not necessarily of AI, but just to show how during warfare, how taking away that emotional element, that human element of making decisions, can have a tremendous impact. In war, game theory is still used, but game theory, even during World War II, game theory could have led to a mutually assured destruction. It could have led to a nuclear war based off of calculations, not necessarily on intuition, not necessarily on emotion, or what a person a decision that a person feels like this. It might not feel right. You know what I'm saying? To drop a missile, drop a bomb on a group of people. But AI, or using game theory, it may say, based off of the calculations, say this might be the best decision and under these circumstances, for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Because it's calculating what the response may be if we don't make this decision. So you're kind of, you thinking what the other person may be thinking. It's all theoretical in a sense, even though you're trying to apply a science to it, but it's all still like based on percentages. It's still based on what you think a person may necessarily do. But we know human beings are unpredictable. You wanted to say something?
Sure. Yeah. No, I definitely unite with your thought. I think that, as far as war, they already work on human beings in that aspect. Try to make them as much as possible to be robots. When they're training for war, they try to make them so that, they're not necessarily conscious of on what they're doing. It's just their job. They have to do it. You know, I've heard people talk about how, like, you know, once they're in that mode, it's not even, you know, they don't even question. They just operating like machines pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's that. But yeah, obviously AI will be taking it to another level. You're right. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
like
the decision making, man.
Yeah. And it's
you leaving it in hands of computers.
Completely taking out the human aspect of it when like I said, it's already not very present. There's not very much left that's humane about, especially these wars, man. But definitely that's definitely taking it to another level, man. And
man. It was something like, I mean, you see some of the negative effects that this can have through some of the films that they have been coming out with, and it's all a blur to me. But I remember in this one film, I don't know if maybe it'd come to me, or maybe you know what I'm talking about. It's like the film, they were deciding on whether they were going to bomb this compound, and they were trying to decide, like, what was the percentage or the likelihood that the person that they were looking for was in this compound. And it was like a 56%, whatever the percentage was, you know. But
at some point they had to make a decision, like, yo, what's up? Let's go.
But based on the calculations, they're like, all right, you know, if it's 66%, but they don't know if the person's in there or not. So
right.
The thing with AI.
And so what was the absolutely. And so what was the target? Like, what was it up to? If it was like 70% or more that was going at it, or what? How much did they do?
That's I can't recall, but it definitely it didn't have to be 100%. It didn't have to be 90%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
See, that's what.
If anybody know the film, because I know that's not a lot to go off of, man. But
that's wild. But no, I think I know what film you're talking about, because I remember watching something like that, and then actually the person wasn't there, and then the person I think it was a girl that made the decision. Then she was suffering about it. They actually killed her. They killed the civilian. All that. Absolutely. I think I saw it. I don't remember the name. But yeah.
And you got to live with those decisions. But now, I mean, with AI, you might not even have that human element to even, because they're interacting with the computer, but you get
and
to
with
a
each
point
other
where,
too, and with each other, like somebody they have to make a decision together and be like,
absolutely. And absolutely. So what happens when you don't even have that happening, where it's just AI making all of the decisions, you know, you're sitting back and just letting it all play out, you know. So so I can see why there's concern over this, man, especially, like, you know, this is going to be used in occupied territories in Gaza. And, you know, this is, I think, you know, more people need to be conscious of just the use of AI just in general, but that this is happening, and Google is letting this happen. Google is participating in supporting this genocide in this case. So I mean, we don't have to read the rest of this story. I think we'll stop there, but definitely stay up to date. Stay tapped into what's going on with that, and figure out ways how you can, you know, play your part and support the what is it? I don't want to call it a boycott, because Google. I mean, Google is like, what? They like, man, they everywhere.
they own a bunch of shit, man.
But I think if there's something that we can do to at least decrease our interaction with Google, maybe that'd have an impact.
Yeah, man, as much as possible. Nah, and I definitely believe in you know, boycotting, man. Even though we know that unless it's really organized, really with masses of people, it doesn't have a huge effect. But you know, yeah, but I still do believe in, a lot of people like to say, there's no ethical spending within capitalism, but I still think, while we're within the system, we have to try to be as ethical as possible, even when we do spend our bread. Wherever we put our money, we can still try to, boycott these major companies as much as possible, because sometimes it is tough sometimes, because unfortunately they make it easy for us to spend the money with them. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, we had another article. Can you pull it up, Ikemba? It's right here. I put it in the chat. I don't know if you can pull it up.
Yeah.
The one on the Amazon. Yeah. Appreciate that. World Stop Banks greenwashing the role in the destruction of the Amazon. The Amazon, man, it's constantly things going on with the Amazon, man, and these
is this the same? Like things going on, like Biden walking through the Amazon, some things like that.
I don't know if this is the same, man, but they act like, like nothing's gonna happen. We're gonna keep cutting down the trees and polluting everything, and and we'll jump into our bunker. But yeah, let's
move to Mars.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Move to Mars. Yeah, we'll colonize Mars too, and then Jupiter, and so on and so forth. Institutions alleged to have given billions of dollars to oil and gas companies involved in projects that are harming the rainforest. 5 of the world's biggest banks are greenwashing the role in the destruction of the Amazon, according to the report that indicates that their environmental and social guidelines fail to cover more than 70% of the rainforest. The institutions are alleged to have provided billions of dollars of finance to oil and gas companies involved in projects that are impacting the Amazon, destabilizing the climate, or impinging on the land and livelihood of indigenous peoples. The banks say they follow ethical policies that help to protect intact forests, biodiversity hotspots, indigenous territories, and natural reserves. However, the investigation says it has found geographical and technical limitations on their ability to monitor and achieve these stated goals. Listen, when it comes to that, they always say they're following the protocol, man. It's always the same story. They always mention
whose protocol are they following?
Their own.
Who created
you know what I'm saying? Their own. And then what happens is that nobody really goes the mile to check. They just read like, oh, okay, yeah. It'll say on their websites and things like that we follow this protocol to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, and nobody really checks and does the extra research. But this is what's going on. This is
10 years later, after they done made $1 trillion, this company did this and this company did that.
Absolutely.
Let's find them $5 million. They made $1 trillion and have controlled and destroyed half of the world. It's too late now.
Yeah, man. And they're always going over indigenous people's lands and yeah. But anyway, let me go a little bit further. The report was produced by the watchdog organization Stand Earth and the coordinating body of indigenous organizations of the Amazon basin. The organizations mapped the extent of the environmental and social governance (ESG) commitments of five leading funders of fossil fuel operators in the South American biome. Those banks, Citibank, JP Morgan, Chase, Itaú Unibanco, Santander, and Bank of America together account for more than half of the loans to companies in the sector. The analysis found that on average, 71% of the Amazon is not effectively protected by the 5 banks. Risk management policies for climate change, biodiversity, forest cover, and indigenous people and local communities' rights. 71%, man. 71% is not protected, right? The gaps rank significantly from company to company. At one end of the spectrum is JP Morgan Chase, whose biodiversity protections, the report's authors say, apply only to UNESCO World Heritage sites that cover just 2% of the Amazons and are in any case unlikely to be considered for oil and gas exploitation. See what they do? They play around, man. They play with numbers and percentages, and that's how they're able to say something and be like, we're not lying. You know what I'm saying?
We're doing it 2%.
Yeah,
you know,
we're doing it. They just leave out the 2%.
And you see the 2% that it applies to is UNESCO, the sites that are under, I guess, I don't know if you want to say control or under, because UNESCO is, we're talking about a United Nations Institute, but I guess like whatever is under there within that protectorate, that's, and that probably, and the only reason is probably because of the United Nations, to be able to say that, you know, there is something being done to protect the land over a place that is under that they are that is under their surveillance. I guess something that they have oversight over.
Yeah, man. That's, you know, but and when you look at the names, man, you see these are like the biggest banks. You know what I'm saying? The biggest banks, the biggest corporations, you know, that are moving everything. And they're this is serious stuff, man. But again, you know, we still got right now with this rise in fascism and people like Donald Trump now. Donald Trump is 100%, you know, climate change denier. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, this is false. You know, he's like, it's not true. None of this is real. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, he wants no regulations at all. Just keep drilling, keep, you know, messing with Mother Earth, man. And
but I mean, at the end of the day, though, like these are capitalists, whether they denying climate change or, you know, they agree that the practices of these corporations are having an impact. You know, at the end of the day, there's interest, there's companies, there's corporations that have interest in whether things, you know, whether they shift the way their businesses practices to more environmental friendly practices or not. Like there's people who are going to be able to come in, and sometimes in some cases it's the same corporations that are restructuring the way that they practice and finding themselves being able to monopolize, right, or gain a tremendous amount of control over the new industries that are popping up, man.
100%.
So at the end of the day, man, they all of these capitalists are looking at how they can come up, how they can profit from.
And they're gonna find ways, you know, with the whole greenwashing thing, you know, the whole fake, you know, green revolution and all this stuff. Like they're gonna find ways to keep doing what they do and make us think that, you know, this, oh no, it's not that bad this way. You know, you have to consume, you know, responsibly instead of, you know, speaking about cutting down the consumption. You know, they're gonna speak about no, keep consuming, but if you do it this way, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? But at
the end of the day, you know, they're still destroying the planet. They still are using up what are finite resources, because at the end of the day, the earth is not growing. It's not getting any bigger, right? So what's here is here. And if we continue to like use the resources at the rate that we're using them, we're going to find ourselves on a very dry planet at some point, even if it's like prosperity. But, that's the thing about the European, the capitalists in general, is like they have no concern about future generations.
I saw a statistic that was like if the whole world lived like the United States, we would need like 3.5 or 4.5 planets or something like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something wild like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I was just listening to Dr. Amos Wilson. I posted something on our We Charge Colonialism platform. Dr. Amos Wilson, he was talking about this contradiction with the consuming of resources, and how the European speaks of this overpopulation and likes to point to the rate of reproduction that takes place in Africa.
Trying to make it seem like that's the problem.
Yeah. But he said if we want to do something about the issue of consumption or overconsumption, he said we have to get rid of the European. He's like, it's the minority of people that are over consuming. We would have enough resources for everybody if it wasn't for this minority.
Absolutely. And there are enough resources for everybody. You know what I'm saying? There are enough. It's just that some of these motherfuckers, they want to have a jet and 18 cars and 5 mansions, and you know what I'm saying? And that way, and you have to have all of that running, and a helicopter, and you know what I'm saying? When we get into that, you know what I'm saying? And they're still brainwashing our children to thinking that's what they need to strive for, to be millionaires and to have a bunch of material things, so that's
it's not sustainable, man.
No, it's not. It's not at all, man. It's not at all. And Sankara said it, man. He said, it's either going to be muddy water for some and champagne for others, or clean water for everybody. And we're going to have to choose,
Yeah. No, most definitely, man.
That's where we at, man. I think we can leave it there. I think definitely would like to know everybody's thoughts on this as well, man. Leave us a comment. Let us know what y'all think.
It's a story, man.
Yeah,
these damn banks, man. Same damn corporate monsters too, man. Bank of America, Citibank, Citibank, already.
These the same ones that are involved. The same ones that are involved. Yeah, you can trace back to slavery. They're involved also in the genocide in Palestine. All of that, Yeah, so that
seeing the connection.
When we
this what Bella was talking about. This connection.
That's right.
Bank of America here in the United States, here based in the United States, over there in the Amazon. Man, get the hell out the Amazon, man. All y'all, Citibank here in the United States. Get out of there. You know what I'm saying? This is why we, Africans all over are dealing with the same issues, because it's the same actors all over the place doing the same thing.
That's right. 100%.
Death to capitalism.
That's it, man. That's it.
That's what we have to get there. I hope everybody.
We do.
Everybody that tap in to Black Power Media. I don't know, like everybody might not be there though. We might have some black capitalists.
You don't think so?
We got where my black capitalists at? Let me see you in the chat, man. Where my black?
It don't work, man. It don't work. It's not liberation, man.
I get watch. I bet you somebody gonna be.
Go off, huh? They're gonna go off.
Yeah, we're gonna see it in the comments later on. If not the chat, in the comments later on, we're gonna black capitalists gonna come back. I'm all for us building a collective systems based on collectivism, man. It's sustainable. It's a sustainable system too.
Sustainability, man. And it also all starts with once again, I go back to the mindset. we were speaking about it the other day about, you know, the African not ideology. What was it? The worldview, the African-centered worldview.
Oh yeah, we got to definitely be there.
Yeah, that's the key, man. You know, because as long as we keep having these Western European thoughts where we think that success is based on, you know, how many material things and things like that, then you know, our people gonna keep striving for all these empty things, you know, these trinkets, and so, you know, definitely we got to get back to that, you know, that African-centered worldview, man. So that's key.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, it'll give us a better understanding of not only ourselves and our own experience, but it'll help us understand others too and our relationship with them. Gain a better understanding on why, you know, our enemies make the decisions that they are making as it pertains to African people, and understanding that will not change unless we change it, right? But if we keep on reacting to our enemies, then we're going to end up in the same place that we are now. You know, in the context, in the political, economic, you know, and social context. No, that's not going to change.
No
How
doubt.
you feeling,
all right,
bro?
Man. I'm feeling good, man. I think we can go to a Black Power break, you know, to a break for Black Power. And,
I don't know if the people ready for Black Power, man. I don't know. I need to see a Black Power fist or something, you know.
Let us see the fist in the chat. Let us see the fist in the chat before we go to a break for Black Power. And hopefully let us know if y'all like these breaks for Black Power. You know, the comrades are working hard on these clips. You know, shout out to Isaac, shout out to Natasha.
Isaac need to get off his break though, man, because you know we need some of our Black Power break videos don't have all the fancy stuff in the beginning.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So this this is a call to our tech team, man. Look at me, man. I'm gonna get in trouble putting them on blast like that.
They're gonna get on you now, man.
Nah, it's all love over here, y'all. So don't mind us. So we're gonna go to this Black Power break. Y'all stay tuned.
You basically knowing my ideology, and basically you knowing me knowing yours, you can support some of our programs. Is that what you're saying?
Why not?
And you believe in programs like the Breakfast for Children program and free health clinics? Right on, brothers?
We believe they're good things. As a focal point to organize their mothers and fathers. Peace.
There's no educational program here?
That's come out of the social action thing. You know, you set that up, brother. I mean, we can't put everything on one piece of paper.
What about this bank?
Credit union? Credit union. Credit union, my brother.
Is a bank.
Are you hip to credit unions? It is a bank.
Yeah, you go and borrow money?
Yeah, it's a bank. It's a bank. Owned by the people. Run for the people. And by the people.
What will money be given out to people for?
Well, the people would decide that. You want to buy, whatever, the people in the community decide. You need some living room furniture, maybe? You need a car, maybe?
See, the thing is, with me, you dig, I need to know some more about it. I wish you had some more literature about the educational thing here. Because, you dig, as far as we're concerned in the struggle, the way we look at struggle is that this depends on the educational thing, you dig. Because
this depends on the education. Well, the whole thing.
No, but in the end, this does. You can form this with no education. You can form this.
No, not the way we're talking about forming it. Right. We're talking about forming it right. It's not on the paper. We didn't write it on the paper.
Form it right with no education.
No.
Let me give you an example. Jomo Kenyatta formed the excellent revolution with no education. And on the day of the end thing, Jomo told the motherfucker, said, well, you know, you can educate, hate the enemy, but I'm your brother. I'll help you lead the revolution. Now I'm going to oppress you. Another example, Papa Doc in Haiti. Papa Doc in Haiti hated everything white. Man, you couldn't put this white paper in front of Papa Doc's face, but he moved all the white people out and he took over and be oppressed. He did, causing no education. And the people that had been educated, they just said that we don't hate the motherfucking white people, we hate the oppressor, whether he be white, black, brown, or yellow. So we got to know the educational program to find out what is going to be in the finale. A lot of people, Jomo Kenyatta is called not a never a revolutionary, but an ex-revolutionary. So is Papa Doc. They brought on a successful revolution. That thing in the Mao's was a bitch. Bantu freedom fighters, all that kind of action. But what we're saying is that it's the end. But you don't judge Castro now. You can't do it. Nobody in this room could judge whether Castro's going to be a revolutionary or not. You know what I mean? We're talking about things, you know what I mean, with China, the People's Republic, and even at the stage they're in now, talking about even going on further into a communistic state. That's what we're talking about. Those are revolutionary. So we got to understand here the educational program that you have to be able to figure out whether it will go on the right lines where the people will end up in a situation where they can be able to really control themselves. You understand what I'm saying? With no education, the people take this local foundation and start stealing money because they won't be really educated to why it's the people's thing anyway. You understand what I'm saying? With no education, you have neo-colonialism instead of colonialism, like you got in Africa now, like you got in Haiti. So what we're talking about is there has to be an educational program. That's very important. As a matter of fact, it's so important for us that a person has to go through 6 weeks of our political education before he can consider himself a member of the party, able to even run down ideology for the party. Why? Because if they don't have an education, then they're nowhere. You dig what I'm saying? They're nowhere because they don't even know why they're doing what they're doing. You might get people caught up in the emotionalist movement. You understand me? You might get them caught up in because they're poor and they want something. And then if they're not educated, they want more. And before you know it, they'll be capitalists. And before you know it, we'll have Negro imperialists.
Hey, man, we don't got no gunshots. We don't got no gunshots out here, man.
We definitely need that. That would have been right on time. That would have been right on time. Hey, that brother was
long live the spirit of Fred Hampton, man.
Absolutely, man.
We need that. We need that, man. See how he was breaking it down? The political education, man. That's what he was breaking it down. He was like, yo, without that, we can free ourselves and then the oppression continues. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can free ourselves and then the oppression continues. That's why, that's real talk. That's what I was talking about earlier when I said that, you know, our enemy fears the organizations they fear the most are the ones that are really focused on ideology because, you know, those are the ones that are willing to, that are understanding what's going on. And if they actually, their voices actually rise, you know, then it's something serious. You know, when the people understand, really know what's going on, not just angry, but are educated. You know what I'm saying? We can, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, well, I mean, what if, you know, more people had access, not access, but necessarily was like tapped in, you know, connected to these platforms like Black Power Media and other platforms that are having these type of conversations, man, because there's definitely folks out there that are putting out that great political education, that great, you know, African-centered analysis, that are discussing the works of Dr. Amundsen Wilson, Dr. Gerald Horn. I mean, we're going over the apocalypse of settler colonialism on our platform, We Charge Colonialism, and I came across another platform that's actually going through the same book. So it's like, you know, some of us are out here doing, you know, the same work, but we're not tapped into, are connected to like 1 million people, you know, 1 million streams where you have all of these people who are, you know, watching and really getting this political education that will help them be able to that will arm them to be able to go out and resist neo-colonialism and colonialism, right, in general. But
well, you know, our enemy, you know, controls the algorithm, you know, that. You know what I mean? Our enemy controls the algorithm.
There gotta be a way to crack it, though, right? Like,
I mean, we gotta see that with comrades Isaac and Natasha, man. They're working on that. they're working on that. You know what I'm saying?
Man, nah, we definitely gotta. But that's part of the war going against
without a doubt, man. You know what I'm
media
saying? That's
machine.
part of the war, and that's why it's important for us to be, that's why it's important for us to be outside, in our neighborhoods, for us to be, organizing it, you know what I'm saying, and understanding that, we're trying to use this here as a, propaganda tool, you know what I'm saying, but the real work is outside, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I think, going back to what Chairman Fred was speaking on, I think it's important, like, people understand, like, what was happening in that clip, right? Where you have this organization that is stepping to the Black Panther Party with this proposal. And I'm assuming because of the influence of the Black Panther Party, right? And to be able to get them to sign off or endorse this proposal, right, that they're putting forth. And Fred Hampton Chairman Fred understanding the importance of the political education piece. So he was not necessarily saying that, I'm not with your idea and don't think that it's a good idea, but he understood, like, okay, this is it's sort of a survival program, like Black Panther Party.
Like, it could work. It could work, but
and it could work, and it could address. It would address some contradictions in the community. Not that it's a revolutionary program, but it is a survival program. It can address some issues. But if we're not addressing these contradictions with the political education component, then people will, look at these resources as like sort of like a handout in a way that they can survive under colonialism, but also just like continue to participate in the capitalist system, right? With no real end game, with no objective to free themselves from it. It's just like, all right, I'm surviving in this, but not being exposed to, you shouldn't even have to depend on these programs. Like, you shouldn't be in a position where you have to depend on survival programs to be able to survive under capitalism. It's a system itself that is the problem. Like, that is the source of the contradiction. So we have to overturn that. So we don't necessarily need what kind of, like a credit union or some of the institutions that we create to be able to some of these social programs.
And that's the key, man. That's the key. Don't try to make us think that a million things are the problem except for the system itself. It'd be like, oh, the way you spend your money, things that you do, your mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is a problem except for the way this shit is structured. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you give folk, again, like, with this program, you put money in people's hands to be able to, maybe they're behind on their car payment or house note or bills, or they want to, maybe it's Christmas time, they want to have some money to purchase some toys or gifts for their children and family. Like, without the political education piece, they're taking these resources and they could end up, being, again, neo-colonialists, as Fred Hampton said, looking at it as a means to be able to position themselves. They can look at these resources to help them position themselves within the system, and just continue to be a part of the system without necessarily being organized to dismantle the system. So we got to be clear with anybody that's coming with any sort of programs, because I think we do have to. I think it would be good to utilize programs that exist that address the social ills in our community, but coming at these institutions and sort of politicizing them, right? Or attaching a political education component and saying, hey, we're willing to work with you, but we have to be able to address, the source of the contradiction. And if they're not with it, cool. We have to be transparent. But when they come into the community under the guise of, wanting to help the community, because what happens is some of these people may come with programs, but they may benefit from these programs. They may be getting money from the state. They may have their own bourgeois aspirations, right? To survive under the system. So, it's good that he called them out. And the guy was talking about some, he was, when he was asking them about the political education component, he was like, well, we can't put it all on one paper. Well, we come with three sheets then. Like, you need extra. Go down to the dollar store.
We can't put it all on one paper. This guy right here.
But man, they got loose leaf, 100 pages coming in a notebook.
That's right.
Cut it out. No, that was interesting, bro.
Long live, long live.
Long live Chairman Fred, man. Long live Chairman Fred. His words still motivate and inspire many of us, for sure.
Without a doubt, man.
Yo, how the Rise Uppers? Rise Uppers, is that what they call?
I don't know. I don't think that was it, bro, but I don't remember.
The chat gonna be mad at me. Nah, we ain't no Rise Uppers. This is our name. They probably know better than me. Yo, forgive me, my folks, but I appreciate y'all tapping in. Make sure y'all like and share, and subscribe to the channel. We are Black Power Media Reloaded. Make sure y'all visit the website too and find out what other shows we got going on this platform. That's a great way to stay tapped in, man.
Word up. Yeah, for sure, man. We appreciate y'all. And we gonna call it a
morning. That's it? I can go eat now?
Yeah, you could go get your grub on, man.
Bruh. I'm gonna go eat. Yeah, I might go back to bed. I might get a couple of more hours in.
Do what you do, Comedy Kemba. Everybody, make sure you tap in tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. You know what I mean?
For sure. We're going to see you on tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning? Wait, what's tomorrow? Thursday morning?
Yeah.
I'll be on Friday morning.
Hold on. What if the people looking for us tomorrow morning? Damn. We might be on. We might be on tomorrow morning. You gotta tune in.
The people I heard the favorites are Natasha and Isaac, man. So I think we out of luck.
It's like that.
I heard the people looking for Natasha and Isaac, man. They got a whole thing going on together. They call it the Libra effect or something like that.
Really?
And that's what I heard, man. That's what I heard. But shout out to the ones that are rocking with us, though. Shout out to the ones that are rocking with us.
Yeah, shout out to the ones rocking with us. I'm disappointed in the Rise Uppers for that one, man. Like, Lange gonna kill me. I appreciate y'all though, and until next time, rise up.
That's right. Rise up.
Sometimes the riot is a quiet one. Well, the battle is to love yourself and function in society where voices of reason are muted by anxiety, like gaining notoriety is selling your soul. So we tend to go no deeper than the shallow water level, trying to keep us overhead in the face of all the slurs and the stares. Mentally frozen, paralyzed by fear of failure and success. So we lock, stock, barrel, running while it's crumbling. All these towers and they're babbling with the babies in the bath and the stash under the bed on my head, spinning from the circles and the puppets and the strings that they pull. Then we move. Reactionary warfare never produces when it's on the field. Feeble and foolish. What tools and what weapons are we using? We need some new ones. Real revolution. It's real solutions. Well, we've taken on the ways of the ones who conquer with their guns and religion and division. Got my inner me looking like my enemy. Real revolution, where my inner me, really a mirror for the galaxy. New time, brand new paradigms, new contracts to sign. They thought that this would all be televised, though it's happening right before our very eyes. It's on the inside, with their guns cocked. When that rock drops, standing on the rooftop, praying that the mountaintop can live inside the valley. People tell me the reward is somewhere off in heaven, like heaven's only in the sky. A chariot's a swinging, like God is something separate from yourself, from your wealth, from your lover, from your neighbor. Oh, your savior is coming in your own name, coming with the face the same. Real revolution, it's real solutions, where we've taken on the ways of the ones who conquer with their guns and religion and division. Got my inner me looking like my enemy. Real revolution, where my enemy is really a mirror for the galaxy.